Alrighty, YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video. Week 11 is officially here. Bucs 49ers. A lot at stake for this game, of course. 49ers looking to go 7-3 with a win. Buccaneers looking to improve to 5-5 and be 500, tied with the New Orleans Saints in the NFC South. I believe the Saints play... Actually, they're on a bye week, it looks like. So, if the Buccaneers obviously can beat the 49ers, they'll be tied for first in the division. I don't know. Actually, the Buccaneers could be first. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They beat the New Orleans Saints. Looks like week 4, week 5? Week 4. I didn't know that. So the Buccaneers could take a hold of the NFC South with a win in San Francisco. So obviously a lot at stake for both teams. As far as injuries go, obviously 2 49ers are going to be out for this game. Nick Zakelj with the torn biceps that he suffered last Sunday in the win over Jacksonville. And then Aaron Banks obviously still dealing with that turf toe injury he suffered, I believe, against the Cincinnati Bengals. So he's going to be out, of course, for at least, obviously he's out this game, but he could be out for week 3 as well. It just depends on what happens there. I know Kyle Shanahan initially said that Aaron Banks could be out at least 3 weeks if this injury is serious, of course. So obviously a lot at stake for the Niners. Clearly their offensive line's hurting. And along with along with Aaron Banks, Nick Zakelj is out. So 49ers offensive line has taken a hit, of course. But at the end of the day, I think, it's next man up. The 49ers had played John Feliciano in place of Aaron Banks last week, and I thought it worked out fine. So hopefully John Feliciano can have another decent game in front of Aaron Banks. And to be honest, I think John Feliciano is arguably better than Aaron Banks. I just think Aaron Banks he's clearly the solidified starter, and there's a reason for that. But I think John Feliciano is just as good as Aaron Banks. So I think he's filled in for him kind of just fine. So other than that, as far as guys being limited in practice, it looks like Robert Beal Jr., or not limited, but as far as going into this game is questionable. Robert Beal Jr., hamstring injury, Darrell Luter Jr., knee injury, and then Samuel Womack, knee injury as well. They're all going into this game as questionable. Now, I know all 3 of them guys were full participants in practice. Thursday they were. It looks like they were full participants yesterday as well. So they're going into the game as questionable, though. So we'll kind of see how what happens, with those 3 guys. So obviously with all 3 of them as well, they all began their 21-day practice window the Monday leading up to Week 10. So they're on track to come back. I just don't know if it's going to be for this game or not. I am excited to see what Robert Beal and Luter Jr. can do as well. I think those are 2 guys that, the 49ers drafted that could make a difference on this defense. Especially with the cornerbacks, Luter Jr. and Samuel Womack. And of course with Samuel Womack, he had a very good rookie season. So, with him dealing with the knee injury and things of that nature, hopefully he can come back healthy, because clearly the 49ers have a need at corner. And they need to get depth at that position. So, and as far as not listed on the injury report, Trent Williams, it looks like he's pretty much fully healthy, ready to go. Colton McKivitz with that knee and ankle injury, he was day-to-day coming into this week. He is not on the injury report, so he will be good to go for Sunday as well. And I know with him, I've been saying too, I think Jalen Moore should start over him. I thought Colton McKivitz... Look, he's done good things, but he's been more bad in pass protection and run blocking more than he's done good. So, I mean, I think Clearly, the 49ers are going to start him if he's healthy. He's the starting right tackle. I get that. But I definitely think the Niners could start Jalen Moore and be better. I think Jalen Moore's got more athleticism, and the only thing that McKivitz holds against Jalen Moore is game experience. So, but either way, he's healthy, which is a good thing. And then Flanagan Fowles, he had an ankle injury. He seems to be good to go as well. So all three of them guys, Trent Williams, McKivitz, Flanagan Fowles, all not on the injury report for Sunday's game versus the Bucs. So all three of them guys fully participated in Friday's practice, and like I said, will be good to go. So that's good news as far as injuries go. Now, looking at this Bucs team, their defense ranks 6th against the run. They're a very stifling run defense. They've been great all season against the run. They were great last week in the win over the Titans. It all starts with Vita Vea right there at the nose tackle. And then obviously behind him you have two very great linebackers in Levante David and Devin White. Those guys swarm the ball. They fly around the field. That matchup between them and McCaffrey is going to be interesting to watch. And then in their back end, man, like they got Carlton Davis, Jamal Dean, Antoine Winfield Jr. is having a great season, so they have a pretty sneaky good defense, and they've been very good all season. I think going into this game, I think the 49ers have a fairly balanced offense, right? I don't think you can shut down McCaffrey in the run game. I know they did it against Derrick Henry, but 49ers have been very good running the football all year, and it's going to be hard to stop a guy like McCaffrey in a system like Kyle Shanahan. So I don't think they completely shut down McCaffrey. I think it's kind of one of them things where there's not a lot of teams out there that can shut down McCaffrey if there's any at all. You can limit him for sure, but the thing with Christian McCaffrey is he can do it in the passing game as well, and he does it very well in the passing game. So I think Niners go into this game with a balanced offense. I think they mix in some play action things with McCaffrey running the football. I think that opens up a lot of things. I think the jet sweeps and things of that nature to Deebo Samuel is going to be big. I think you beat this Bucs team by beating them in the run game. And again, they've been very good against the run. Again, 6th ranked defense against the run. But I think if the 49ers can go into this game with a attitude of, we're more physical than you, I think that's a key to win the game. I think physicality in this game is going to be massive for the 49ers. Clearly, with Colton McKivitz back, they're going to have their starting right tackle, and Trent Williams seems to be trending towards fully healthy, so that's always good. Again, last week, Trent Williams wasn't fully healthy, so having him, not suffer any setbacks and get as healthy as he possibly can be is huge for this game. So I think the Niners beat them in physicality. I think you have to. I think that's why the Buccaneers have been so stifling against the run, is because they've been very physical. But there's not a lot of football teams out there that match San Francisco's physicality. They got it with Deebo, they got it with McCaffrey, Kittle, Trent Williams. Like the Niners are a very physical football team, and I think beating them in physicality is going to help Christian McCaffrey in the run game. And I think that's what happens. I genuinely think that McCaffrey has a great day on the ground. I think he adds it with a touchdown or two. I think McCaffrey's going to do it in the pass game. Again, go into this game with a balanced offense, have that strong run game that's going to open up the play action things and vice versa. Do the jet sweep action with Deebo Samuel, get him on the outside in open field with blockers in front of him, and I think the 49ers, I think that's probably what they're going to do as well. Like, I think the game plan is going to be similar to last week. I thought we were a very balanced offense last week. I think that's what you do this week. I can see Brock Purdy making, a couple more plays than he did last week, just through the air. It's funny, too, because Brock Purdy's first ever start was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady, and we beat them, I think, 35-3 last year. So, Tampa's going to want revenge. It's going to be a little revenge game for them. They're going to be fired up about that. But yeah, going to this game, I think with the balanced offense, and I think good things come from that. And then I think on the defensive side of things, add to what you did last week. Get to Baker Mayfield. I think we all know what happens when Baker Mayfield gets overwhelmed. Mistakes start happening. I think the 49ers have an interception or two this game. It'll be interesting to see Tristan Wirfs and Chase Young see that matchup. I think with the 49ers defensive line, they did a fantastic job last week at getting to Trevor Lawrence, not only getting pressures, but getting those sacks and getting those strip sacks and things of that nature. So again, man, yeah, I think continue to keep your foot on the gas as far as the defensive line goes. Get to Baker Mayfield, get pressure on him, make him throw that ball that ends up being an interception, or you guys get the point. Like get to Baker Mayfield, and I think the 49ers can have a lot of success on defense if Baker Mayfield is being pressured. Again, just because they did something last week doesn't mean they're going to do something this week. Defensive line needs to be doing what they did last week every single game. It's too loaded to not have defensive line play like we've seen last week. So I think defensive line needs to add. I think they will. I think they will add to what they did last week against the Jags. Again, Nick Bosa knows better than anybody. When you get to Baker Mayfield, good things happen for the defense. So, I think getting Baker Mayfield overwhelms key. And then it'll be interesting to see Fred Warner and how he kind of aligns with Rashid White tomorrow. Rashid White, I believe, is second in rushing or receiving yards behind Christian McCaffrey. Rashid White is having a great season. He does it in the run game and the passing game. And Baker Mayfield likes going to him a lot. So I expect Fred Warner to be hawking him all game, be on his ass all game long, stop him in the run, stop him in the passing game. He did that great last week against Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne was pretty much shut down in the run game especially, and not only the run game, but in the passing game as well. So, and that was Fred Warner's doing last week. Like, Fred Warner had a very great game last week. But yeah, I think Fred Warner, that's going to be a great matchup, Fred Warner and Rashid White. I expect Fred Warner to be on him all game long. I expect the defensive line to add and to continue to do what they did last week. And I really like the Niners in this game. I do. I don't know how you can't. They're coming off of a big win. I feel like they've got their physicality back with Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams. I love what I seen last week. That was probably one of the better games, if not the best game the 49ers have played all year long. So add to that, man. Just add to it. Get to the quarterback, Rashid White, shut him down in the receiving game. I think another big thing is Chris Godwin and Mike Evans can kill you over the top. I think the safeties, Talanoa Hufanga, Tashawn Gibson, that's going to be a key going into this game as well, is making sure he's not hurting you over the top. And I think it's going to be hard for Mike Evans and Godwin to hurt us over the top if that defensive line is playing at a high level and getting to Baker Mayfield. But I don't know. I can also see the Tampa Bay sticking to a short kind of passing game, a lot like we've seen, I believe, week 4 when we played the Rams. Maybe that was week 2. Can't remember. But whenever we played the Rams last, the Rams did a great job at killing us in the dink and dunk game. So I can see Tampa taking that approach, but Steve Wilkes and this defense, they'll make adjustments, if something's hurting them, bad. But yeah, man, I like the Niners a lot. As far as my score prediction, give me the Niners. I like the Niners. I'm going to say 30 to 16. I like the Niners in this game. Look, they're at home. They're coming off of a big win. They're as healthy as they possibly can be. Chase Young's presence was felt last week. I expect him to have, another good game where his presence is felt. Bosa and them guys and Hargrave and those big dogs up front, I expect them to have another big day. I expect Fred Warner to have another day. That defense in San Francisco is just simply going to be too much for Baker Mayfield, I think. I think the McCaffrey has a big day on the ground, even though Tampa's got a good rushing game. I expect McCaffrey to at least have 60 to 70 yards on the ground rushing. I just think the Niners get that one defensive turnover that completely flips the game, and I think they'll capitalize on it. So yeah, I like the Niners a lot. Again, this isn't a team that the Niners can sleep on, though. They're a good football team. I just like the Niners in this matchup more because I trust Steve Wilkes in that defense to add to what they did last week, and I expect the offense, with getting Trent back and with him being a little more healthy than he was last week, and obviously Debo being healthy. It's hard. The Niners are hard to beat when they have those two guys, and not only them, but the Niners are a hard team to beat in general. So, yeah, I like the Niners 30-16. I think it's a big day for McCaffrey. I think the defense adds to what they did last week, and I like the Niners to roll. So, let me know who you guys. Let me know your guys' score predictions in the comments down below. Let me know your guys' predictions for the game, all in all. And who you think scores touchdowns and gets the sacks and things of that nature. But yeah, Niners. I got the Niners 30-16. Again, I expect it to be a game in which the 49ers go out there and just dominate. And I know it's not the best thing to say. Go out there and I expect the Niners to go out there and dominate, but I do. I mean, they should dominate. I just genuinely think when the 49ers get into November and December, they play the best football they play all year, and we've seen that over the course of 2 to 3 years. Brandon Ayuk said it best. In November and December is when the real dogs come out and play football, and San Francisco had a good start last week. A good back on track game with the win over the Jags, and I think this is a perfect game to add to that. And build that confidence even more going into the Thanksgiving game against the Seattle Seahawks. So, yeah, I like the Niners. Let me know your guys' predictions down below. But, yeah, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.